Red Bull will be bringing big upgrades to this week's race. Ferrari is warned about its new upgrades, and the cost cap talk has begun with George Russell voicing his concerns. Let's get into the latest F1 news. Helmut Marko from Red Bull expressed that he isn't concerned about the possibility of McLaren posing a challenge for the championship, even though McLaren emerged victorious in Miami. Lando Norris of McLaren achieved a Grand Prix win in Miami, making them only the second team to defeat Red Bull in the past 18 months. Norris benefited from a mid-race safety car that disrupted Max Verstappen's strategy, allowing him to secure the lead due to his superior speed. During the first half of the Miami Grand Prix, Verstappen was comfortably leading until a mid-race safety car was deployed after his pit stop. This occurrence enabled Norris to pit and take over the lead. Following the restart, it was expected that Verstappen, known for his overtaking capabilities, would swiftly pass Norris. However, Verstappen lacked the necessary pace to compete with the McLaren driver. Verstappen's performance in the RB20 was affected when he hit a bollard and damaged his car's floor during a mistake at the chicane. The magnitude of time lost due to this incident has not been clarified by Red Bull, and Verstappen himself downplayed the impact of the mistake on his car's performance. Throughout the Miami weekend, McLaren demonstrated strength, particularly on Norris's side of the team. They utilized various upgrades provided by the Woking-based squad, including a new front wing, new front suspension, new floor, revised side pods, new engine cover, revised front brake ducts, and revised cooling louvres. This comprehensive upgrade brought McLaren within reach to take advantage of Verstappen's less-than-optimal race, showcasing enough pace to distance themselves from the pursuing Red Bull once they were in the lead. In an interview with Austrian publication OE24, Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko commented on the relationship between Verstappen and Norris off the track. While they are very friendly, Marko expressed concern that Norris may become more dangerous on the track and that Verstappen has something to learn from him regarding partying. Nonetheless, Marko quickly dismissed any worries of McLaren becoming a threat in the championship race, emphasizing that McLaren's driver, Norris, is more than 50 points behind. Marko also mentioned that Red Bull has an upcoming upgrade package for Imola, which he expects to provide significant improvements. However, he acknowledged the importance of focusing on the sporting aspect in light of the Miami race. The extent of the upcoming upgrade remains uncertain, as team boss Christian Horner suggested it might not be a major change, indicating possible minor modifications according to some reports. The development direction of the RB20 under Adrian Newey and Pierre Wascha has diverged from the dominant RB19. The anticipated changes are likely to focus on refinement and corrective measures that could enhance the car's performance potential. With a regular practice schedule following 2 sprint weekends, both Red Bull and McLaren will have sufficient time to fine-tune their respective cars with the latest upgrades. Ferrari is also preparing to introduce new upgrades for the SF24. Christian Horner, team boss of Red Bull, acknowledged McLaren's competitiveness after the defeat in Miami. He observed McLaren's strong pace in the second half of the race, their impressive performance on medium tires during sprint race qualifying, and recognized Red Bull's achievements with 2 poles earlier in the weekend and a sprint race victory. Horner expressed curiosity about the extent of McLaren's performance across different circuits and indicated that upcoming races in Europe will provide more insights. He acknowledged McLaren's strength during the weekend and credited Lando Norris for his well-deserved win. Ferrari has taken their upgraded SF24 2.0 car, featuring side pods inspired by Red Bull with a shark mouth design, onto the Fiorano circuit. However, they have been cautioned that it's not just about the external appearance. The car's inner workings must also be correct. Following closely behind McLaren, who recently introduced a heavily revised MCL38 and achieved victory in Miami, Ferrari will unveil their upgraded SF24 at the upcoming Imola Grand Prix. During a 200-kilometer filming day at the Fiorano circuit, the fully enhanced 2.0 version of the car completed its initial laps with Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz at the wheel. The most significant alteration, according to Formula 1 is the revamped side pod inlet, now resembling Red Bull's shark mouth design used in their RB20 this year. In an effort to make the SF24 more similar to Red Bull's car, Ferrari has made crucial changes to the floor and side pods. They have restyled the cooling inlets, reshaped the side pods, and abandoned their previous S-duct solution. The report states that Ferrari now incorporates an entirely new concept, aiming to synergize cooling and aerodynamics. The vertical inlet, directly connected to the shark mouths, forms a distinctive P shape used by Alpine and Mercedes. This revamped inlet serves the exclusive functions of cooling and internal blowing. Other modifications include alterations to the engine cover, enhancing airflow to the beam wing, as well as significant transformations to the car's floor. Yet, Ferrari has received a warning that merely copying the external features of the Red Bull car won't be sufficient. They must comprehend the inner workings of the RB20 to make it all truly effective. Rob van Gameren from Ziggo Sport Race Cafe stated, "For years we have been emphasizing that it's possible to imitate the look of a car, but it has to be functionally accurate too." However, Jack Pluigi, another pundit, explained that Ferrari has recruited some personnel from Red Bull Racing, allowing them to gain inside knowledge from the team. Ferrari team boss Fred Vasseur played down the notion that this upgrade would be a game-changer for the team. While expressing their commitment to development and production, he stated that they should not expect it to revolutionize their performance. Nevertheless, in such a tight competition, the upgrade has the potential to provide a performance boost. Currently, Ferrari stands in second place in the Constructors' Championship with 187 points, trailing behind Red Bull, who are leading with 239 points after their victory at the Australian Grand Prix. And if you are enjoying the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel for daily F1 content. Zak Brown, the CEO of McLaren, is confident that the team is now equipped with all the necessary components to emerge as a strong contender for the championship in the near future. Just a few years ago, McLaren found themselves struggling at the back of the pack. However, their recent victory in Miami, where Lando Norris triumphed over Max Verstappen, represents the culmination of a remarkable resurgence. The ill-fated McLaren-Honda partnership, which seems like a distant memory, was characterized by grid penalties and unreliable power units. However, both parties have since parted ways and experienced success. Honda went on to win multiple titles with Red Bull, while McLaren initiated a comprehensive overhaul, breathing new life into their once dominant Formula One team. Under the leadership of Zak Brown, Andrea Stella took over as team boss after Andreas Seidel's departure to Sauber. Investments were made in the Woking factory's infrastructure, and a switch to Mercedes power revived a highly successful partnership that dates back to the 1990s. On the commercial side, Brown's efforts to attract top-level sponsors have transformed McLaren cars into mobile billboards. Their impressive roster of partners, including Monster, Google Hilton, OKX, and DP World, is the envy of the entire F1 grid. Following McLaren's substantial progress over the past 2 years, exemplified by their triumph in Miami, Brown believes that all the necessary pieces are now in place to challenge for a world title. He expressed his confidence during an interview on the Beyond the Grid podcast, stating that McLaren has what it takes to compete at the front. While continuously refining and investing in new technologies, Brown emphasizes that there are no extraordinary tasks remaining on their to-do list. McLaren has acquired a wind tunnel and the key personnel required for success, ensuring their technical, commercial, and financial departments are all well-equipped. Brown believes they have what they need and simply need to continue moving forward as a team. Despite currently holding third place in the championship and consistently challenging for second and third positions, Brown asserts that they are not satisfied. Their ultimate goal remains to win the World Championship and individual races. Although he acknowledges the challenges, Brown is resolute and determined to achieve their objectives. Reflecting on McLaren's progress, Brown points to their remarkable turnaround in 2023. Transitioning from one of the slowest cars on the grid to one of the fastest. He praises their team's resilience, character, and culture, highlighting their ability to overcome setbacks and improve significantly. Brown believes that with the vision and foundations they have established, McLaren is not far away from competing for the World Championship. Comparing the current team to that of 2020, Brown asserts that they have made substantial strides in just 4 years. With Andrea Stella excelling as team principal and a talented team of individuals who have delivered a fast race car, McLaren is in a much stronger position. Furthermore, they have secured a driver lineup that they are immensely satisfied with and plan to retain for the foreseeable future. Technically, McLaren has everything necessary for success, having addressed crucial aspects such as the wind tunnel, new simulation tools, and computational fluid dynamics. Now, their focus is on nurturing teamwork, allowing these elements to mature and contribute to the development of an even faster race car. George Russell has raised concerns about the need for more aggressive cost cap regulations in Formula One to combat the potential long-term dominance of Red Bull Racing and the lack of significant competition from rival teams. While steps have been taken in 2021 to level the playing field, such as implementing a budget cap and establishing aerodynamic testing rules, Russell questions whether these measures are sufficient. Although all the teams adhere to the same budget cap, an additional testing restriction, ATR, impacts the rate of development for each team by handicapping those who perform well. The ATR sets a baseline for the number of permitted wind tunnel runs and computational fluid dynamics, CFD items based on a team's finishing position in the championship. The team that finishes first in the Constructors' Championship, for instance, has only 70% of the allocated time, while the 10th place team receives 115%. This results in a significant difference in the number of wind tunnel runs and CFD items conducted. Russell raises doubts about whether this system is enough, especially considering the continued dominance of Red Bull despite being handicapped. He acknowledges that the new regulations regarding the cost cap and wind tunnel time may bring the field closer together, but he questions whether a more aggressive approach is necessary. Russell emphasizes the importance of his team focusing on their performance and doing the best job they can. However, he realistically admits that Red Bull remains far ahead of the competition, and it might not be until 2026 that a genuine challenge to their title dominance could arise. Additionally, Russell acknowledges that Red Bull's dominance is not unique, pointing out similar periods of dominance for Mercedes from 2014 to 2020 and Ferrari in the early 2000s. He explains that in a competitive sport like Formula One, dominance by certain teams is not uncommon, citing examples from both recent and distant history. In conclusion, George Russell expresses concerns about the need for more aggressive cost cap regulations to prevent long-term dominance in Formula One, particularly from teams like Red Bull Racing. He notes the current measures taken to level the playing field but questions their effectiveness. Russell recognizes the performance gap and emphasizes the importance of his team's focus and improvement. Furthermore, he acknowledges the historical pattern of dominance in Formula One exhibited by various teams throughout the decades. America requires an American driver to gain support, but Danica Patrick doubts that Logan Sargeant is the right person for the job. Last season, Sargeant made his Formula One debut with Williams. However, rumors started circulating soon after, suggesting that his time with the team was limited. Sargeant fell far short of Alex Albon's performance, failing to qualify successfully and finishing the season with only 1 point, while his teammate earned 27. Despite his challenges, including several major crashes, Sargeant was retained for this year's championship. Nevertheless, doubts and whispers have resurfaced. Although Sargeant outperformed Albon in qualifying for the Miami Grand Prix sprint, his first of 3 home races, he couldn't improve in the official qualifying session, falling behind his teammate without making it past Q1. Furthermore, he has yet to score a single point, with his best result being 14th place. Albon hasn't scored either, but he finished in 11th place twice, contributing to Williams' 9th position in the Constructors' Championship. Danica Patrick, a former IndyCar and NASCAR driver and current Sky Sports pundit, doesn't believe Sargeant can captivate American fans. According to Patrick, having an American driver perform better would be beneficial, creating more engaging storylines and increasing competitiveness to earn points. She questions Sargeant's ability to endure in the current circumstances. Patrick also suggests that a team like Andretti joining the competition could make a significant difference. Although many American fans admire Sergio, Lando, Max, and other non-American drivers, having an American driver would enhance marketing and media exposure in the United States. This would attract more fans to the sport. Jenson Button, the 2009 world champion and a Williams ambassador, disagrees with the rumors of Sargeant being dropped this year. He believes Sargeant will continue driving for the rest of the season. However, what happens next year largely depends on Williams' performance this season. Button expresses the desire to see Sargeant become more competitive, emphasizing that Williams needs to improve as a team. He acknowledges the challenges they've faced over the past couple of years and believes in their ability to turn things around. Button hopes they can make the necessary improvements quickly enough for Sargeant to prove himself before the season concludes. When questioned about his position, Sargeant shares that he focuses on performing his job to the best of his abilities. He felt more comfortable during FP1 in Miami and believes he has been relatively fast since Australia. Although there have been disappointing moments, Sargeant remains optimistic and committed to giving his best effort. Concerning the rumors, Sargent considers them internal discussions and doesn't view them as distractions. He has had conversations with James, the team principal, and his managers regarding his situation and future guarantee with Williams. Now watch this video next as I go over the latest updates to expect on the W15.